Welcome everybody to Homestead-Miami Speedway. We're in for a big treat tonight. We got a lot of special schemes out there. Nice Miami Vice schemes to go over. I see one on the screen right there. One of Jason Gracias. But I am Josh Coppernoll. I'm joined by Adam Kuhn. How you doing, Adam?
Good evening, Josh. Pretty well. Excited for another In the Pits News Truck Series race, of course. And like you mentioned, very exciting paint schemes here and a very exciting racetrack on store for tonight. Should be another exciting race here tonight, Josh.
Oh man, I'm super excited. We saw a thrilling finish last week at Richmond with Mr. Carl Felver taking the win. But, back here at the mile and a half, so speedways, big tracks that always keep these guys super close. And I expect another great one here tonight.
Absolutely a worn-out surface, and that always lends to excessive tire wear, and that leads to exciting finishes like we saw last weekend.
And, talking about a worn out surface at speedways, one thing that immediately pops into my mind is Auto Club. Of course, we saw a teammate battle between Joseph Lester and Michael Kruger there earlier this season, with Joseph Lester taking the win in a last lap pass out of turn 4.
Yeah, and it was a very dramatic finish, like you mentioned, between the two, and we could see it happen here. In this race we saw last season, it was pretty much a two-horse battle between Noah Maiuri and Jason Gracias. They were untouchable from the rest of the field, and probably going to be the same way tonight. We already see Noah Maiuri top of the leaderboard, but he's leading a very tight margin over his teammate, and the top 18 are separated within half a second of each other, Josh. Very tight field here in practice.
Yeah, if these practice speeds are any indication of how this race is going to go, we are definitely in for a good treat, as I keep saying. But, Adam, I'm going to turn it over to you to bring in last week's winner, Carl Felver.
Hey, Carl, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, win last week was huge, of course, but totally different racetrack tonight. What do you have expected for your number 15 team tonight here at Homestead?
I think it'd be nice to come home with the top five. Not looking very good right now in practice. I don't know where the speed's at yet, but that's the goal. So hopefully we can run clean, stay out of everybody's way, and bring on the top five.
And if you do that, it would help very tremendously in your point situation. You're 16th right now, and you're 12 away from taking a possible playoff position. What do you need to do that looking forward with the remaining races we have left in the regular season?
I think if we just run top 10 consistently every week and make as many of the races as I can, I think we'll at least have a chance at it. Not sure that we will get the points we need, but wasn't really planning to make the playoffs when I started running this anyway. I didn't think I'd be able to run out races. So if we make it, I guess it's good for us. But if we don't, I do more. So just glad I'm here. I had fun. A lot of.
Absolutely. Well, good luck tonight again, and have fun.
Yep. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and I know the broadcast is going to be good. Can't wait to watch it after the race here.
Last week's winner, Josh, Carl Felver.
Yeah, definitely excited about this one, and ready to get it going. I want to bring in our points leader. So I do just want to say there, of course, you mentioned about the points. I did bring up for you viewers to see, and there it is again, the points gap. This is from 9th to 16th. So Carl Felver sitting in 16th position right now in points. Needs to be in that top 14 in order to make the playoffs. Still a lot of races to go. Before I bring in who I want to interview, let's go ahead and look at the top 8 in points. I see Michael Kruger ahead of Alonso Chicano by 17 points. Joseph Lester, of course, not racing last week, dropping from 1st to 4th, and is now 29 points behind our points leader, Michael Kruger, also tied with Alexander Kerfan. But Alonso Chicano and Cameron Caldwell are the other two in the top 3. Cameron Caldwell 21 points out of first position. With that being said, let's go ahead and bring in our points leader. Hey, Michael Kruger, got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, just talking about point situation. You are currently the points leader. Still have some races to go, but you've had quite the season already. 2 wins to your name. What's it like up to this point? Knowing that you are leading the points and have a good shot to really go out with a chance at a championship.
I mean, Josh, so far it's just kind of felt like a dream season in some way. Like, I didn't really think going into the season I'd really be a factor or even remotely close to being a title contender, but to be one, I mean, this is an absolute, dream scenario, it feels like. Just having 2 wins, the most of anyone this season, and being the points leader. This just feels like an absolute dream right now.
What's it been like working with teammates as well, and Joseph Lester and the other guys, Leslie Rose, and then our PBR's JCTV Racing affiliates?
It's been real nice working with teammates. Just giving feedback, and it's been real, very helpful, and it's always real nice to be offering feedback to people and your teammates on track state and temperatures and lap times when practicing for upcoming races, or advice on what steps to run steering wise and brake wise coming into certain tracks. I always try to help out my teammates whenever I can, like Wesley. I always try to help him out the best I can, really, on whatever advice, whatever we're practicing and such, to try and help them out and just make them the best they can be.
Well, we'll let you get back up in there with your in your team chat, and maybe we'll talk to you later on in the race.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You guys have fun in the booth, by the way.
Thank you. That was driver of the 42, Michael Kruger. Hear how excited he has been to have the season he has had, Adam.
Absolutely. We hear that every time we talk to him. It seems like he just has so much jubilation to be competitive. Like he just said it. He basically just said that he didn't have high expectations going into the season, and here he is, top of the board in almost every category, just halfway through the season. Race number 9 tonight, so it could be a very big moment for him if he's able to continue capitalizing this season.
Look here, you see the schedule that we have. As you said, race number 9, Homestead, 134 laps tonight. Next week we go to Michigan, one of my favorites, and as long as everything works out, I'll be out there on track. But we're coming down to only 6 races left before the chase starts.
Yeah, and 6 very diverse racetracks. Mile and a half tonight, a 2-mile track, a short track, road course, another shorter flat track, and then Talladega, where anything can happen, of course. So very, very unique set of tracks, and of course very unique playoff tracks too. But that's a whole another story when we get down to it.
And I would say in that schedule there, we would have, obviously 2 wild cards, Charlotte Roval and Talladega. But I would throw in Nashville Fairgrounds as kind of being another wild card for the simple fact of these guys have not seen the Nashville Fairgrounds in schedule previously. And, obviously it is a shorter track, but maybe a little bit different for some of these drivers to be able to figure out. So I would throw that one in there as a wild card just because of that.
Absolutely, and we saw the short tracks last season, including Lucas Oil at Indy Raceway being a really chaotic race at the end. So either one of them could be crazy. And you mentioned Nashville Fairgrounds, not a normal track, not normal for trucks at all, not normal on hardly any schedules that these guys run like you mentioned. And a lot of these guys don't even have the track yet, so probably not a lot of practice time heading into that in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I believe I will have to check. I don't even think I have the track on iRacing. So if that just proves, I've been on iRacing since 2016. I just celebrated my 6-year anniversary on iRacing a few days ago, and I don't even have Nashville Fairgrounds. If that tells you anything, I have all the tracks that NASCAR goes to. I have pretty much ever since 2017 season. So Nashville Fairgrounds, it's not one that we see a whole lot, as you said. So definitely, I'm looking forward to that one in a couple of weeks. But obviously, we got this one tonight, and see one of those beautiful Miami Vice schemes there that is driven by Alonso Chicano. Well, I gotta ask, Adam. It's about that time. Who is we picked to win?
Well, I will go with the defending winner of this race and the guy who is leading the charts right now in practice, the 8 of Noah Maiuri. We've seen him out of shape a couple times in this brief part of practice, but he's got the fastest lap on the boards, and like I mentioned before, he was pretty dominant in this race a season ago, so I'll pick the 8 truck.
Man, that is going to be a tough one to beat. But, I'm going to go with the guy that had one stolen from him last week, if you will. And Jason Gracias, currently sitting P4 on the practice charts. He pretty much dominated Richmond. I know he is very fast at the short tracks. Absolutely dominated Iowa. But he had a really great run here last season. But, of course, fell short to Noah Maiuri. I think Gracias is able to best Maiuri tonight. Gracias takes the win. We are closing in on the end of practice. 4 seconds left, and we head over to JCTV qualifying.
Oh, Felber was able to jump up to P2 there on the speed chart. We talked to him early in the pre-race, and he said he needed to find something for some speed. And last week's pole sitter, last week's race winner, up to P2 in practice charts.
Could be some momentum on his side. Well, I'm not surprised here as to who's the first truck out. That is Zach Probst. He is warming up his tires. So we're going to go to Brett Bennett, who is could be the first qualifier. See Brett Bennett using as much of the track as he can on his up-to-speed lap. Takes the green flag into turn 1. say though, I'm a little surprised. Brett Bennett was wrapping the white line there on his first lap. Through 1 and 2. A little bit off the white line. Just above that bottom seam there through 3 and 4. Brett Bennett to the top of the board. Still around that second seam, but I think he got loose there through 1 and 2. Brett Bennett's going to complete his second lap. 33.5. Jason Gracias goes to the top of the board with a 33.32. Here's one I want to watch, Adam.
Absolutely. Let's see what line he runs for these 2 laps. Zach Probst jumps to the top of the speed charts meanwhile.
Jason Gracias back to the point. Riding on board with the A truck of Noah Maiuri as he is crossing the start-finish line for his up-to-speed lap. Now he is on green. All the way at the bottom, wrapping that white line, super loose.
Got a little too much white line there, maybe. And maybe hook that apron just a little bit too much.
That is definitely going to hurt his first lap and possibly his second lap if he can't really get a good run off the 4 here. He's loose.
Going to be a lot more comfortable up by this wall, though, so if he does have a moment again, he'll catch that wall pretty quickly. No, he's going to go right back down to the bottom, try it again.
P12, P13 for Noah Maiuri so far, 33.7. Full speed is a 33.28 out of Jason Gracias.
Much cleaner through 1 and 2. He didn't hit that white line at all.
P2. Wow, he actually improved a lot more than I thought he was going to there. Points leader Michael Kruger sitting P12. Completes his second lap. P5 Kruger so far. Carl Felver, P16. Last of those that have taken the time so far.
Yeah, very slow first lap, but let's see if he was just using that maybe to build up a lot of momentum for this flyer through 3 and 4 for his second and last lap.
Ooh, loose off turn 4. Let's see here. P9, 33.4. And that wraps it up for JCTV qualifying. Jason Gracias is the pole award winner.
By just 0.02 of a second over that 8 truck, also very tight once again in that qualifying session.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Noah Maiuri was able to recover like that for a second lap. I believe that the difference was him having that moment through 1 and 2 on his first lap, though.
Well, Jason Gracias started on the pole in this race last season. Can he turn it into a win after a heartbreak last week, like you mentioned, at the start of that session?
Be interesting to find out. I'm sure this battle is going to be incredible between the two. But through our starting lineup, Jason Gracias starts on the pole, followed by Noah Maiuri in second. David Rand qualifies P3 with Zach Probst in fourth, and Michael Kruger will start in fifth place.
Cameron Caldwell claimed the championship last season here, and he starts in sixth position next to Alexander, right ahead of Alexander Kurfin, who starts next to teammate Alonso Chicano. And Carlo Felver and Brett Bennett are going to round out the top 10.
Rookie driver to this season at least, Craig Fryer, will start 11th. Our in-race reporter, Jeremy Richmond, will start in 12th. Joseph Lester, P13. Dalton Kelly, 14th. And Tyler Watermullen, starting 15th position.
Caleb McCurry lines up 16th with Justin Durand 17th. Austin Story outside of him with Andrew Elias and Daniel Sapowski rounding out the top 10 rows.
Got Brian Smith, Dawson Allen, Brandon Havens rounding out the field. See a couple of those Miami Vice schemes. First and third, of course. And you'll see them all throughout the field. Definitely think those are amazing paints made by C2 Graphics. But here we go for the Faces 200. Green flag underway. And a good start by Jason Gracias with help from David Duran behind.
Absolutely great start. Those two are clear out to the lead. Noah Maiuri got really wide though through the center of 1 and 2, and now 3 wide with that now. Zach Probst in the center of that.
The lines they are running. Zach Probst, I think, may have been forced up a little bit. Something happened to Dawson Allen, though, on the start. But they are 3 wide coming out of turn 2. It's like Brett Bennett, Joseph Lester, and Craig Fryer. And it's just a bunch of hungry drivers all trying to find position.
Absolutely, and up front, David Durand up in second place, fighting with Michael Kruger. They were side by side for that position, and the last couple of laps, they've been fighting just ahead of Noah Maiuri, who is trying to get around them both, and now they're 3 wide with Cameron Caldwell.
This track is wide enough to make that work very easily. They're still trying to push 3 wide. Zach Probst coming into the picture.
Caldwell, the big beneficiary there, from just outside the top 5 up to 3rd, and now he's chasing down Kruger right ahead of him. You can see Justin Durand all the way up to the wall, and we got a couple trucks down pit road, as you see here.
Let's see if we can catch a replay.
Oh, big contact with Brandon Havens, it looks like, on the back straightaway.
Oh! Brandon Havens got loose, went straight to the wall, and collected Brian C. Smith.
And that was a big wall contact that 40 truck rode on the back straightaway there.
I want to see what happened to the 79. I don't know. We'll be able to see what happened to Dawson Allen there. We come back to live timing. Chase Gracia still leader. He's got company.
And all these drivers have migrated lanes just a little bit on the entrance to 1 and turns 3. They moved up. They're moving up on the exit of turn 2 right here a lot. See, they're all kind of just running right in a line, Josh.
Yeah. Oh, we are under a caution. Looks like 3 drivers stopped on the back. Andrew Elias, one of them. Let's take a look to see what happened. Sponsky, that black truck in the middle. Looks like gets into
Tyler Watermelon and Caleb McCurry. Ooh, big hit for Tyler Watermelon in that inside wall and shoots back across the track right almost into Andrew Elias. Looks like the 51 just got away from Daniel Sponsky and he drifted right into the 68 and collided and chain reaction there.
Look, on board with Andrew Elias. Did a great job.
Great job.
Heavy
Yeah,
on the brakes.
had to do it twice.
A lot of drivers chose come down pit road. Looks like 25 of Alonso Chicano led them in. 62 of Zach Probst. 24 David Durand. Zach Probst, first one off pit road. Let's go ahead and bring in our in-race reporter, Jeremy Richmond. Hey, Jeremy, it's Josh up at the booth. Got a copy? Hey, Jeremy, it's Josh up at the broadcast booth. Got a copy? Try one more time here. Jeremy Richmond, it's Josh Coppernell in the JCTV broadcast booth. Got a copy? Doesn't seem like we're able to reach Jeremy Richmond.
Well, it's going to be very interesting on the street start with all of those guys who pitted for these fresh tires. They're going to obviously slice through the field here. any little bit of new tire is going to be long dividends on this racetrack, Josh.
And you see the choose rule. Jason Gracias was looking like he was going to take the low line, and then at the last minute went up to the wall. Michael Kruger chose the bottom. Cameron Caldwell taking the top. Noah Maiuri going down to the bottom. Felver will restart on top position with Kerfan to his inside. This is the Faces 200 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Get a little bit more on Faces later. We're ready for a restart though. Jason Gracias on that outside. His control truck pace car is in. Green flag is waving. Great restart there out of the Radius Racing camp. Cameron Caldwell able to tuck in between his teammate Jason Gracias and Michael Kruger, points leader. And they're looking 3 wide. Not quite, but they were fanning out. And look at Cameron Caldwell inside the one truck of Jason Gracias, looking to take that lead. Still to the inside, and you see Michael Kruger using as much of the track as he possibly can, going even higher up. Caldwell able to clear his teammate Jason Gracias. They're side by side for P2 behind.
Using every lane possible, Josh. Excuse me, Caldwell sticking towards the bottom. While Kruger and Gracias were door to door there in the center of the racetrack. They were fighting for second. They're still door to door.
Not leaving much room for error is 42 and the 1, Kruger and Gracias. Gracias all the way up to the wall. Kruger using the bottom lane, and Noah Maiuri's creeping into the picture. Still side by side out of these drivers for second place, though.
Absolutely, that E-Truck's just begging for a way around. He seems to be faster than both Kruger and Gracias right now. And there he's got an opening to the bottom as Kruger slid up on the exit. But he's got trouble himself. They are fanning all over trying to get around that E-Truck down the front straightaway. Big bobble for Noah Maiuri, falling down to 7th.
They were looking like they wanted to try to push it 4 wide. Michael Kruger getting out ahead of Carl Felver, who was able to get down to the inside. Now here comes Craig Fryer in the 21.
Yeah, what a run for the CFM guys running side by side there for a moment. Up inside the top 10, obviously a huge win last weekend for Felver, and there's Fryer out right there in 5th in his first race of the season.
Doing a great job. Working his way 5th place so far for Craig Fryer. He's got Dalton Kelly behind. It is Armed Forces Day, and you see Dalton Kelly running a special paint scheme for our Armed Forces. Battle for second, though. Michael Kruger to the inside of Jason Gracias. He completes that pass pretty easily.
And Carter was running away right now. He looks like he's trying to march away from these guys and build up a pretty big lead now. But as soon as I say that, Kruger, as soon as he's gone on Gracias, he's trying to run down that 12 truck. He's got quite a few tenths taken out of that lead already.
Something I find interesting here, Adam, is Caldwell is very openly admitting to the fact that he is not the greatest at saving tires. I think he's gotten better. But right here, I'm wondering, is he saving? He's pulling away. It could be very well be because of the battle behind him. Battle's going on behind him, but very curious here. Is he saving or is he burning his tires up?
And another factor is they already have a run on these tires and a heat cycle. They, of course, started on these tires and he didn't pit under that caution, so a little bit of tire already eaten up on these on this first set for that 12 team.
Battle for third place, side by side. Jason Gracias with the advantage, using that outside lane. Carl Felver wants the position. He's challenging Gracias for it. Of course, last week's winner using that momentum to an advantage. But Gracias wants no part of it and is able to fight him off to maintain third spot. Go ahead, Adam.
Gracias wanted no part of it last week. These two are the two who fought for it at the very bitter end and went 1-2 at the finish just the opposite way. And Felver, huge run there off of turn 2, and he's trying to take that to the bottom of Gracias into turn 3. Can't do it quite yet. He's just going to have to wait and take it to the outside now and roll it through the top of 3 and 4 on that one truck.
Ooh, sideways is that 15. Carl Felver doing a great job at holding it, but he's got Greg Fryer to his inside now, and Alonso Chicano right on that tailgate.
Same time, Felver's mistake happened. Kruger was losing his truck, handling in front of him, and you see this wad here with the two CFM trucks side by side with Alonso pushing Felver.
Battle for second place, battle for fourth place, side by side. Kruger and Gracias once again. Kruger rolling the top lane. Just behind them, you got the 21 of Fryer to the inside of Felver. And Alonso Chicano has really put himself into that picture, but here comes Kerfan as well.
And Noah Maiuri, he dropped down to 10th a few laps ago. He's already gained those spots back. Here he is up to 8th right behind Kerfan.
They are 3 wide now. Still 3 wide.
These three are teammates on Wednesdays. 2 of them are teammates tonight, and Alonso is not caring at all. He's going to go to the inside of these 2 CFM trucks into turn 1. Felver, with roping that outside, is going to get ahead of him for the moment. Let's see what Chicano can do on the exit of turn 2. He's going to clear them both.
And Felver looking to the inside. He's there right at the corner of that 25 truck. Going to dive it into the corner. Starting to slide up a little bit. Able to hold it down there.
Just the many lines at Homestead-Miami, right, Josh? You can use the bottom, get a slide job, and park it on the top and just use all the momentum up high. We've seen both Felver and Chicano utilize the top lines in this fight early on in this race.
Right here, it's that high lines playing off for that 25 of Alonso Chicano as he's now pulling away 1-2 truck lengths over that 15 Carl Felver. And now Chicano closing in very quickly on the 42 of Michael Kruger. He's there at the tailgate. Looking to the inside. He is going to get past Kruger easily here. Kruger runs all the way up at that wall, then cuts it down to about the middle in the corner. Here comes Kruger with a run. See if he's able to get it, do anything with it, entering 3. Chicano stays high. Kruger goes down to the bottom. That highline is just paying dividends for that 25. Alonso Chicano, who is still right up there, right at that wall, running that Kyle Larson line. Kyle Larson loves running that wall at Homestead-Miami, and probably should have a lot of trophies to his name, but not able to close in on the deal late in the races. Alonso Chicano. He's got that speed, though.
He is running down these top two really, really rapidly, and Gracias could not find a way on the top side around that 12 truck. He's going to slam the door on that 25 on the corner exit. Very hairy moment. They might have made contact. They were colliding off of turn two.
Looking to the inside of the one. Alonso Chicano is trying to clear. He's not quite clear. He's clear. A three-way battle between the Radius Vortex guys for the lead. All of them in Miami Vice trucks, painted by the guy that is no longer the leader. And now Chicano's just going to drive away with it. Well, at least we thought he did. Here comes Cameron Caldwell with a run. Jason Gracias, probably the one that's most frustrated about all this. He had caught Cameron Caldwell, was right there, right in at Caldwell's tracks, and all of a sudden, here comes that 25 out of nowhere, passes them both. Now Gracias with a run. Looking to the inside of the 12, Cameron Caldwell battle for second place, not quite able to keep it there underneath the 12. Caldwell shuts the door. Gracias going to look wide. Caldwell once again shuts the door there on the front stretch, exiting 4.
Caldwell was defending just enough by blocking the air just to hurt that one truck and not give him an advantage. And the one truck's handling's probably not helping him either defend back. And you see a little bit of a moment there for Caldwell through the exit of the corner with his own handling of the truck, and Gracias with a huge run to the inside entering turn 3, but he still can't make it slide in there on the entrance of the corner.
They are going to be side by side off turn 4 down the front stretch. Gracias with the advantage at the moment. They're going to enter turn 1. Caldwell's going to stay high. Not quite up at the wall. Run about the middle of the track. Gracias pulls away. Now we'll see if Caldwell is able to catch back up. Battle here between Lester and Kruger, teammates and rookies.
Last stage points on the line here, coming to the last few laps of the stage, and they are going at it. They know how crucial these points are for these two. Keep of the standings almost all season. Now Lester, of course, falling a couple spots with his absent race last week. He's going to want more after missing that race last weekend at Richmond, of course, up to 5th.
Yeah, Joseph Lester started this race in 13th position, and as you said, up to 5th. He's got a fast hot rod, passing a bunch of trucks, and taking his South Florida, University of South Florida scheme up to the front. So I'm seeing now of what happened with Dawson Allen. His power did go out, so that is what happened with Dawson. That was very unfortunate for Dawson Allen. I know there's been some storms going on. I'm not sure what area Dawson Allen is from, but he did mention earlier that he had a storm coming through his area. So hope all is safe with him. And, you know, I completely forgot all about the stage until you said it. This is last lap of the stage. It is at the completion of this lap, and Alonso Chicano working his way to get a stage win over Jason Gracias.
Cameron Caldwell very narrowly 3rd over Carl Felver, who was right on his heels at the end of that stage, who is 4th. And Joseph Lester 5th, with the point leader Michael Kruger rounding out the top 6 points.
So after pit stops are completed, we will bring in Alonso Chicano into the booth. Are going to be catching up to the pace car here. And pit road should be open this time. Looks like Daniel Saponsky, looking like he will be our wave around truck. He is the only car 1 lap down, sitting in 18th place. And, you know, I was just talking about him. Guess who's here? Dawson Allen. 35 laps down, but he's out here turning some laps.
I believe he's going to do what he did last weekend when he joined us in the booth and just go out there and pass the trucks and call it a night. So we see all the lead lap trucks peel off on pit road for some of their first pit stops of the night.
And this has brought everybody down. No questions asked. Race off pit road is going to belong to Jason Gracias, I think. Timing and scoring shows Gracias.
Very, very, very close race off pit road between all of those guys. They were just launching pretty much all at the same time or close to it. And Gracias, I couldn't really tell it either, Josh. It looked like he got in. Nabbed Chicano barely, apparently, at the finish line there on pit road.
Well, let's go ahead and bring in our stage winner, Adam. I believe you have the interview.
Yeah, hey Alonso, congrats on the stage win. How was it out there racing around this racetrack there in that opening stage with all these guys?
This racetrack has a lot of character. It is very loose on exit, but also can be very tight entering. If you're running the top, it's very easy to get sucked into the wall there. So it's quite a challenge. You're going to see maybe some people spin out here or get really loose, as we've already had a few examples of. But I didn't feel like I had a truck or have a truck really that's going to lead just on speed alone. So figured I'd take the chance and get some tires and get a stage win. So got a few stage points and a playoff point.
What are your expectations for the rest of the race, maybe, if you don't think that you have enough speed to take a heads up tonight?
Jason's gonna be probably the guy to beat. Joseph Lester's gonna be really good on the long run. So those guys are gonna be ones to look out for. Hopefully we can save some tires here and be up there with them, at least have a chance to stay here in the top 3. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll have a chance to do some more strategy calls. And as you guys know, I'm not afraid to take a chance or two.
Absolutely not. Good luck there, and last 100 laps or so in tonight's race.
Thank you.
Alonso Chicano taking the bottom lane on this restart, Josh. Starting on the front row with Jason Gracias, losing the race off pit road there.
Tell you what, I'm really surprised at how some of those drivers look choosing their lanes at the last minute. Just like
Absolutely
I noticed,
back to the pack, dicey.
I noticed 21 of Freer almost looked like he cut it 90 degrees to the left and was headed straight for the inside wall. We are going to go green with 95 laps to go in the Faces 200 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. That pace car's in. Jason Gracias is the control truck. He's on the loud pedal, and he's already got a huge lead. Here comes the company behind him, though. 15, Carl Felver was looking underneath. 25 and 12, right back on the inside of Cameron Caldwell. Able to get past Caldwell for third. They are 3 wide. They were, at least for a moment, through 1 and 2. Joseph Lester on the outside of Kerfan. Trying to get by. That 30 truck on the inside there.
Yeah, 30 truck, no match for Michael Kruger, unfortunately. He was going to clear him. And you see Joseph Lester in line right behind Alexander Kerfan. Lost a couple spots there with that caution. Now he's getting raced by Dalton Kelly going to the outside with Craig Fryer right behind him. These guys dicing all over now right ahead of him. Kevin Caldwell to the bottom of Carl Felver up front. Moment off of turn 4. Now he's racing Alexander Kerfan, who's going to get by that 12 machine. Down quite a few spots, Josh, in the last lap.
Yeah, and saw a difference there. Caldwell was leading the race for a little bit there, got caught. And now he's in 6th place. Driver I'm noticing here, Noah Maiuri sitting 17th position currently. Obviously still a long way to go, but I think this is a little bit of a surprise to see Noah Maiuri so far back here. Maybe just taking it easy for a bit. Found himself in a position he didn't want to be, so just kind of taking it easy, I assume. Not really sure.
Absolutely a surprise. Like we mentioned, it led 85 of the 134 laps in this race last season, so, and of course a very solid truck to start the race. Very great opening stage, so yeah, very surprising to be back here.
Cameron Caldwell right there was trying to battle with Kerfan and Kruger. Kerfan, of course, pulling ahead of Kruger. Now Joseph Lester to the inside of Cameron Caldwell. Who may have pushed him up the track just a little bit. We have a caution, though. I believe might have been Daniel Sponsky. Let's see here. Ooh, got into the wall off turn 4. Oh, that wasn't the reason for the accident.
Yeah, we saw him spin onto the flat through turn 4 as the leaders were catching him.
Yeah, he started to slow down there. I'm wondering if he was wanting to come into pit road.
spinning off the racetrack, so I wonder if this caused the caution. Because he's way off out of everyone's way.
That is weird. I wouldn't think that would have brought out the caution, though. And we had trouble on pit road. Caldwell and Lester.
Wow. That's a huge mistake you wouldn't expect out of Caldwell, and including Joseph Lester. That's a big threat in this race, of course, to be involved, collected in that. They got together. Maybe indecision. Wow.
I think Lester wanted to stay out, and it was a last-minute decision. Let's see if we can get it on board. He was coming in there a little bit too hot, though. Trying to close that gap.
Yeah. Lester was coming in really hot, like you said, trying to catch the car in front of him. He didn't expect Cameron to be coming on pit road, so he was trying to close up to the truck ahead of him. Cam slams on his brakes last second, comes in, and Joseph doesn't expect that and slides into Cameron. So it's kind of, honestly, a weird situation altogether between the two of them. I thought Cameron got in the barrels up first and collected Lester, but they just collided.
So, I'm still a little bit confused at how that caution came out, though, because Saponsky was off track and in the grass, and I wouldn't have thought that that would have triggered the caution when it did. I didn't see anything else that might have brought out the caution, so I do believe that that is the reason for the caution. I'm just not sure why, because he was off the racing surface and way onto the grass, and I think that was why he was driving backwards as well. Headed in reverse and was driving backwards into the grass, was to be far enough off that knowing the leaders were coming around that it would not trigger the caution. I'm not 100% sure exactly why that happened.
Yeah, very bizarre scenario there with that 51 truck.
Tell you who the biggest winner is right now on this choose. That is Caleb Curry. Got the bottom wide open.
And he's going to gain quite a few positions, and maybe even more. It looks like Alonso Chicano dropping to the rear could be a choose cone violation, and that's very interesting for him. So Caleb McCurry's going to go on the front row because of this, while the 25 truck goes from top 5 all night to the rear of the field on this restart.
This is going to be fun. And if that is the case, if it was a lane violation, that is not the first time that he has gotten a lane violation.
And right before we go to this restart, we have the driver of the 79, Dawson Allen, joining us up here.
Yeah, unfortunately, storm issues caused power issues, caused issues with the race, but it's okay. As the green flag flies, let's see what we can do here with Caleb McCurry leading the field here.
So I'm not sure who was the control truck. I would have assumed it would have been Richmond, but McCurry seemed to be the one that started them.
Race control...
Doesn't look like he was ready. He's falling to
Race
third.
Control declared that Caleb McCurry would be the control car since he was the one that would have wound up behind Chicano there. So McCurry was the controlled circle.
Over. Saved it, but he got into Kruger. They keep it going.
3 wide.
Wow. How did they save that?
He drove it into the 42 truck. Huge save from both of them. I'm surprised Kruger didn't lose it after that heavy contact.
Still a massive wad back in the back here.
And Felver trying to look for a hole down to the bottom, isn't able to find one. So stuck there in the middle.
Meanwhile, Jeremy and Richmond got back up to the lead through that. Caleb McCurry second, Kruger somehow still third. Gracias fighting with him in fourth. And Alexander Kurf in fifth, guys, after a really crazy restart.
15 is struggling here. He is fighting everything he can to make sure he doesn't lose it here.
And Jeremy Richmond is now the leader from 12th to 1st, and Richmond is pulling away. Well, he was, and Kruger gets loose.
He saved it.
My goodness, he just made an aggressive move to get from 5th up to 3rd, but losing it there.
He's going to lose a lot more time compared to Felver.
And right there behind him, you see Alonso Chicano scored 13th. That choose cone violation's really starting to hurt him as he's back in the Hornet's nest, having to fight his way to the front again.
Dalton Kelly just got super loose off turn 4. And we just talked about the issues. We got a battle for the lead, though. Jason Gracias looking to the inside of the 98 truck. Easily going to pass.
No time through the top 5.
That is the difference of the fresh tires for that one truck over the 98, who is out there on 19 lap old tires, is Jeremy Richmond. Here comes Kerfan, and what I was going to say is after that issues getting into pit road there, Joseph Lester, he's already up to 4th place.
Lots of great action back here throughout the field as well. Battle between 9th, Dalton Kelly, Carl Felver still going at it side by side here. Just about doored each other in 3 and 4. This battle continues on with the slower Caleb McCurry just up ahead.
Yeah, Caleb McCurry's doing a really good job holding his own. Like you mentioned, he hasn't had a lot of pace tonight. Jumped all the way up there on that restart. Really confusing restart, but he's right there, a little bit in the way of Dalton Kelly, but he has been just fast enough to stay inside the top 10 so far. As you see them get clumped together with Michael Kruger trying to charge his way there on the bottom.
Kruger doesn't want to wait too much longer here.
Yeah, Kruger was trying to make it 3 wide there, wasn't able to quite make it 3 wide. And Felver's just going to be able to pull a little bit ahead here. Now we got 3 wide. That's the 24, David Duran, looking to the inside of 15 and the 45, Felver and Dalton Kelly. We may see 4 wide before the end of this battle, as they are right there with Caleb McCurry, of course, who is on older tires.
This has allowed Cameron Caldwell to catch this pack along with Chicano right there running the top. Everybody is fighting hard in this middle of the pack for positions. Anything they can take at this point, they want to take it.
And these 6 or 7 trucks are using 6 or 7 drastically different lines. Huge
standing
run.
it 3 wide to the inside.
Ton of momentum into turn 3, but he gets checked up by that 29 machine.
Oh, sideways saves it there.
Wow.
Just a little bit out of there. Oh, my goodness.
Caleb McCurry lost the top, that high side lane, and as soon as he lost that, his truck went free, and he is hanging onto it just hardly while all of these trucks try to navigate around him.
Alexander Kerfan just took lead away from Jason Gracias, and Joseph Lester's right there on the tailgate of Jason Gracias.
Almost. What a save yet again by Carl Felver, the 15, but issues with the 42 runs in the back of him.
Michael Kruger's poor luck with Felver continues. That's the 2nd time he's gotten contact from him, and the 3rd time it's been from off of turn 4 for that 42 machine.
That 15 was all about loss. The 42 found him, was able to save him, but in the end it killed the 42 truck, so just getting racier and racier. These trucks are getting so much looser as this run goes on, so they just get a lot harder to hold on to and keep down. So you're going to see a lot of trucks sliding around the track here. And that's what's so great about Homestead, too. Besides the multiple lanes of racing you have, it's the fact that these trucks, once they get loose, man, they are a handful.
Got a battle here for 4th place. Fryer right there at the bumper, or tailgate rather, of the 98, Jeremy Richmond. Not quite looking underneath just yet. Gonna try his hand in turn 1. They both looking towards the middle of the track. Fryer, of course, goes down to the bottom. I do want to apologize to you, though, Dawson. I just about the same time Adam was introducing you is when I was reading that you were with us in the booth.
Yep. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here tonight, so that's okay. I'm here a lot earlier than I expected, and not for the reasons I expected, but that's okay. You know, an exciting race, but I'm kind of glad that I'm not having to run this one because I know that this would just be complete handful here. But yeah, just a lot of battling throughout the field here. You know, while the battle for the lead is still going on, you know, Jason Gracias is still right there with Alexander Kierfin, and then Joseph Lester is lurking in the wings as well. The battle is on for 4th now between Craig Fryer and Jeremy Richmond.
Fryer's on the outside of Richmond. Try to use that high line to his advantage. Fryer able to complete the pass now, going to start pulling away from the 98 of Jeremy Richmond.
While he does that, looking back behind him, it's the 47 of Brett Bennett, slowly closing in on the 98 of Jeremy Richmond. You know, the number one thing I fear when I'm racing is seeing the number 47 in my rearview mirror, so I'm terrified if I'm in that 98, if I'm Jeremy Richmond right now.
Well, Brett Bennett didn't have a really great start to the night, and he's clawed his way up into the top 10, and he's trying to get to that top 5 position right there behind that 98, filling up his
Richmond hard in the wall!
Big contact with the 98. Wow.
98 spun it, overcorrected, and found himself head on into the wall. A massive accident, but a surprise that it was only one truck involved there.
I'm not sure. I don't think the air would have been taken off of Richmond. There wasn't contact between Bennett and Richmond, but
that was very close to it, though.
I'm wondering if it goes back to what Dawson Allen was just talking about, that 47 intimidation factor.
Well, it looked like the 98 just lost grip. They were trying to exit the corner, and as soon as he did, he, like Dawson mentioned, he overcorrected it, and maybe the net code between the two or something, but he took a hard shot in that outside safer barrier.
Yeah, that's been the thing here at Homestead. You know, as that truck gets loose on the longer runs, you've got to worry about that truck sliding somewhat out of the way there, and it's about a fight to save it.
Jason Gracia stays out, and the leader comes in, excuse me, Dawson, and split decision for a lot of the lead lap trucks.
It has been 20 laps since their last pit stop. And I'm thinking some drivers are just thinking we came down pit road a little bit too much, a little bit too many times for comfort. Just trying to play their hand at strategy. Looks like Dalton Kelly is going to be the first one off pit road.
I'm wondering if that 45 took 2 tires here, trying out some strategy. Jason Gracias, Joseph Lester, Brett Bennett, and Cameron Caldwell are the 4 that stayed out here. As for the 45, I want to look back and see if he indeed did just take 2 tires. It looks like actually no tires.
7.2 seconds was Dalton Kelly's time.
He took no tires. He just got fuel. It looks like everybody else took tires, but Dalton Kelly going fuel only for that stop. I'm wondering if he's thinking those old tires are still going to work out here, and he's got 4 trucks ahead of him that also stayed out here. So, some of these guys have wondered if they know something we don't about, how this is going to work out. Looks like Noah Maiuri coming back down pit road. I think he's either getting damage repair or he is just coming down and going to try to top off here. Choose will be coming this time here. So let's see if anybody pulls a Chicano and runs straight through the middle again. As they stand, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is the view from the back of the pace car, so you'll see how they choose. They are on the front stretch.
It'd be interesting to see. Obviously, control car is going to go low here. Jason Gracias takes that low lane. No, he's going to go high. One truck pulls it high. Looks like a couple of guys pulling high. Brett Bennett's going to take the inside lane, and he's going to be restarting front row. Looking throughout the rest of the field, looks like everybody just kind of goes back and forth, alternating, but the only change really being Lester goes high, and that pulls Brett Bennett and Cameron Caldwell to the low side.
So we are going to go green with 65 laps to go, just past halfway. Jason Gracias, of course, has been strong truck out here, but he's starting to get some other competition from what he's had. That pace car is going to make the hard left turn down pit road. Jason Gracias, hard on the loud pedal.
That 47 did not get going too well in the inside lane there. That's allowing Lester to pull up and Caldwell to even make a move to try to go for third.
And Lester's holding on to that outside just ahead of these guys. Make sure it's not 3 wide. Caldwell pulls ahead of Brett Bennett. And now Bennett with pressure from Kerfan.
Yeah, Kerfan, the first truck on fresh tires right now, going for it. You see up in the back, way up top on the walls, Alonso Chicano, Craig Fryer making moves as well. You see them starting to make these moves on the guys that are on those older tires, but it's going to have to come in the corners here. It looks like straightaway speed's about the same, but the corners is where that grip is able to carry a little more speed.
Brett Bennett rolling that high line now.
Huge moment for Alexander Kerfan, and Craig Fryer had to make an evasive action to avoid that 30 truck, and you see the 3 wide in the center of the corner because of it with Brett Bennett on the bottom.
Older tires drifting up a little bit.
Wow. Kerfan, I think, caught a little bit of a break there. Having that moment, starting to slip back that 3 wide, and then because he was on the outside, he had a big advantage, and that's what kept him ahead of Fryer and Bennett. Now Kerfan around the 12 truck of Cameron Caldwell, and so is Fryer.
So far, your old tires are 1, 2, and then you got to go all the way back to Brett Bennett in 9th. Dalton Kelly is back to 13th. So not holding strong for those old tires, but so you see the 30 truck of Alexander Kierfin making a move on Lester. Lester drifting up the track. It's going to open the door for the 21 of Craig Fryer to go by as well.
And they are catching Jason Gracias very quickly here. Alexander Kerfan right there at the tailgate. Looking to the inside. They are side by side down the backstretch. Gracias will have the high line. I'm not sure how much it's going to help him. It's not at all. He just kind of pulls to the side, gives lead to Kerfan, tucks in behind, and could try to fend off Craig Fryer.
And Alexander Kerfan having a great season, of course, kind of started his momentum in this race last season. Was a 3rd place finish to conclude the winter season, and got his first career win in the 2nd race of the series at Charlotte a few months ago. So a lot of momentum, coming into the season. Led the points for a few weeks and still up in the top 5 in the standings. Really good racetrack for him, of course, running P3.
I'll tell you what, there is no track Kerfan would love to see more than Michigan next week. Kerfan, a fellow Michigander himself, and I recall during the off season between the winter season and this season here, there was a few recruitment races, and one of them being at Michigan International Speedway. Kerfan and I had an amazing battle. We're not going to talk about how it ended for me, but Kerfan ended up going and winning that race. And Kerfan, I know he's looking forward to that one next week, but leading this one here tonight, 58 laps to get it done.
Now, someone I've got my eye on right now that's been able to move through the field here really well. Zach Probst has been making pretty quick work of everybody he's caught up to. And as he continues to roll, he's found himself in the 5th position. So this 62 truck might have something. We got a spinner in the back, Joseph Lester around.
Wow.
And once again, it looks like it's another one-car incident. How on earth did they make it with just one car? No, actually, it looks like he got some help. The 20 of David Durand got into the back of him there in the middle of the corner. You see it right there in the replay.
Looks like he got Joseph Lester washed up the track a little bit, racing Carl Felver, and the closing rate with David Durand, he didn't really expect that maybe, and nudge, and it sent that forward truck spinning.
I do gotta say, as a broadcaster, you get to, you don't get to really hear the driver audio much, so you don't get to hear the chitter chatter that goes on in between these caution periods. So it's always quite entertaining to hear them go back and forth. As of right now, Andrew Elias has taken the blame for yet another incident, and Cameron Caldwell is threatening to ban him from the series. So as we see pit stops going on, obviously some of those guys that did not pit the last time by, taking some tires, taking the time to get pit road service that they need. And just looking, it looks like the top 7, I believe, stayed out here. So everybody who's stayed out here, the top 7, all pit that last caution 12 laps ago. Noah Maiuri came down a second time under that caution. So you see as they continue to roll on here. a couple more guys coming down pit road a second time. 21 back down, as is the 44 of Andrew Elias. So a bunch of strategy, just deciding when they want to pit and who's going to come out where here.
So tonight's race is the Faces 200. Faces is a craniofacial disorder, and out of every 1,000 babies born in the U.S., 1 or 2 will have craniofacial disorders. One person that comes to mind is NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Ryan Vargas, who does have craniofacial disorder. So they are a cause, and support them. Got the choose here. Kerr fan taking the top with Chicano behind, and Zach Probst took the bottom. That door was left open. And here comes Noah Maiuri, who also had that door wide open on the bottom. And we'll restart in what is the 3rd position. A lot of drivers did come down pit road that time and probably top off on fuel. Looks like everybody from 9th on back. The top 6 drivers overall did stay out. We'll see how long it takes those drivers with tires to come up to the front.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. A lot of guys looks like they came down and topped back off one last time. So, a lot of guys, everybody from 9th on back pretty much came back down to top off as we get ready for the restart.
Green flag is waving. Alexander Kerfan with a great restart over the bottom lane, but he's got a whole lot of mirror full of Alonso Chicano, who's now looking at the high line. And here comes that 24 of David Durand, using that high line and those tires.
David Durand, easily one of the most aggressive tonight on the restarts, using any lane possible. And like you mentioned, trying to take quick advantage of that fresh rubber. Alonso Chicano all the way up to the top, just ahead of him too, trying to get out of that dirty air with the leaders right ahead of him.
And for Chicano, he wants to get up to the lead as soon as possible because he knows these guys with tires are coming.
Chicano can't get around Zach Probst quite yet. In fact, he's going to lose the position to the 62 machine off of turn 2.
Trying again here, going down low if he can. But Probst's going to take that middle lane. It's not going to allow Chicano to get the run he wants off the corner.
Yeah, all it does is open the door for David Durand and Noah Maiuri, who's up into the top 5 again. They had a run down that front straightaway a bit on Alonso. Noah Maiuri diving to the bottom of that 20 truck into turn 1.
Ooh, sliding up a little bit, gets kind of close in the corner there. But as they come off here, looks like Maiuri's going to end up getting the position just barely, holding it steady as Chicano's making a move yet again, going for second on Zach Probst.
Noah Maiuri, big slide there into 4th position. He's going to slide job it and park it in front of that 20. He gets a little free there. Speaking of free, Andrew Elias all the way on the flat exiting turn 4. He's losing a ton of time from that, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, great save by the 44 there. That drops him back, though, big time as they continue on here. Kierfin's starting to pull away from them a little bit. He's gotten away, but Chicano's also stolen the second spot back from Probst, so we'll see if that 25 can chase down the 30.
Surprised drivers with tires hasn't really been able to make a lot of noise.
There hasn't been enough fall off yet. It was only about 12 laps on green flag conditions that it was difference. So it wasn't enough to really matter or warrant anything. But, we'll see as this run goes on. Those guys that didn't pit, they're going to struggle a little bit quicker than those guys that got the fresh tires did. You see the 8 of Noah Maiuri, he looks like he's dropping back there too. That's starting to show the cracks a little bit in that strategy of staying out.
Maiuri with a big time problem through 3 and 4. He lost a ton of ground to Justin Durand, and Dalton Kelly. He's going to fight back that 45 truck off of turn 2 this time by.
Starting to see some of these guys who stayed out having issues. Caldwell and Maiuri are dropping back. Durand is on his way back. It is being Justin Durand in the 20. He's starting to fall back a little bit. Other than that, the top 3 right now, they are still the ones that stayed out. But we've been seeing Probe struggle a little bit here as he's got the 1 truck of Jason Gracias right there on his back bumper along with the 45 of Dalton Kelly. It's only in a matter of time before they start to make those moves on the race leaders here.
Kelly to the top, he might take both of them in one corner. He's 3 wide on the outside of Probst and Gracias, and he is clear of them both into turn 3, and Gracias fighting on that 62 machine, trying to get underneath him and get around him. He's been stuck behind that 62 for a couple laps now. Finally, he gets a nose out in front just a little bit off of 4.
I don't think...
With them still fighting, it's going to help Dalton Kelly.
I don't think anything more special would be anything but a win for Dalton Kelly, who is running that Armed Forces Day scheme on Armed Forces Day. A lot of drivers having Miami Vice schemes. Dalton Kelly electing to use an Armed Forces scheme.
And he just had a huge moment there off of turn 2, and he got by Alonso Chicano, moved him up into the 2nd position, and he looks like he is going to try and run down that 30 truck. He's a little bit faster than our race leader right now, Alexander Kerfin.
Dalton Kelly 10 laps on his tires, 24 laps for Alexander Kerfan, so a little bit fresher tires for that 45 truck, Dalton Kelly.
We're starting to see that fall off here. That last lap, Dalton Kelly was 0.3 faster than race leader Alexander Kerfin.
And Zach Probst losing pace really quickly, was in the top 3, and now he's falling to 5th. He's going to lose more positions here shortly, I believe. He's having a rough time with that truck on the bottom of the racetrack.
We've had a lot going on tonight. We've not had a chance to do a Turn It Up segment. So let's go ahead and turn it up. new leader, Dalton Kelly, able to get around Alexander Kerfan, who now has a mirror full of Jason Gracias.
Dalton Kelly is staying glued to that outside wall, and it paid dividends there for him. Easily got by that 30 truck. They were side by side for a couple laps, but the momentum carried to his side, and he prevailed. Now he's trying to run away from these two.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought battle by Kierfan, but again, those older tires are starting to show their wear, and he just could not hold on to it and could not hang with it, as now he's under fire from the number 1 of Jason Gracias. You see here, looking through the field, you know, Kierfan is 2nd, Chicano is 5th, Probst is hanging on to 7th, Maiuri is back in 8th, and then Durand is 9th, and that's where all those guys that stayed out, that's where they're sitting right now. You know, they're all kind of trying to hold steady, but those newer tires are starting to make their moves throughout the field.
Now, if you are Dalton Kelly, you know guy with same strategy as you is in 2nd. How much are you worried here? Especially one that has dominated this race of Jason Gracias.
I mean, you've got to keep that in the back of your mind. Obviously, that the guy behind you right now has been a really good driver. But you got to stick with what you're doing, and you got to keep just focusing on what you're doing and hitting your marks. You know, Dalton Kelly is going to have to worry about the windshield, not the mirror. He's going to have to just keep hitting his marks and keep it going and keep doing what he's doing instead of trying to focus on staying ahead of the 1, worrying about the 1. You know, he's got to really keep his focus on this race lead and just maintaining it.
See, Dalton Kelly's moved down to the bottom lane, which is exactly where Jason Gracias has been running, and Dalton Kelly may have gotten a little loose there.
He has lost the handling of his truck the last couple laps, I believe, guys. That's the 2nd lap in a row he's had that bobble off an exit of the corner. Last time it looked like a little bit off a 4 and again off a 2. See, he's running that lower line to Gracias, who's running higher on the exits. Could be an unstable 45 truck as we run the longer in this stint.
He's fighting hand over hand, doing everything he can to keep that truck from getting loose and snapping around, hitting the wall there, you know. But he's fought hard to get here, so he's gonna have to fight even harder to stay here.
It looks like he has no stability in the center of the corner. He can't keep the truck where he wants to have it pointed, and Gracias is going to get around him here.
Dalton's going to try to follow in his tire tracks now and just see if he can just stay with the 1 truck and keep with it and see if he can hold it steady and try to make a move at the late end of the race as this race winds down. Just 34 laps remaining this time by.
Dalton Kelly painting that white line. And he's trying to stay right there with Jason Gracias. I think that corner through turns 1 and 2 really helped him out there. He might have been closing in on Jason Gracias just a little bit.
And look back behind him up to 3rd and 4th. Cameron Caldwell and Joseph Lester. An impressive run. They get around Kierfan and Chicano both. These two from going sideways together on pit road, now running 3rd and 4th and looking to hunt down the race leaders here. Let's see what this 12 and 4 can do as this race winds down.
They might have a battle of their own for that 3rd position now. Lester looking to the inside of Caldwell.
Lester had a huge run through 1 and 2, and he was able to get it to the inside of that 12 truck entering 2 and 3, but he's not going to be able to secure that truck on the bottom lane exiting 2 and 4, and Caldwell is going to try and defend, but he can't quite do it. There's still a truck inside as they fight into 2 and 1.
I think Lester's got the advantage here. I think Caldwell had a little moment there in the center of the corner, drifting up just a little bit too much. That allowed Lester the advantage on the bottom to get past the 12 of Cameron Caldwell. Lester up to P3 after that spin. He has had to go from the back to the front on multiple occasions. He wants to stay there now. Coming to 31 laps to go.
Very untypical Joseph Lester kind of night, but he is there when it kind of counts, right, Josh?
Oh, absolutely. He saw, obviously, last week, with him not making it to the race, his rival and teammate Kruger take the points lead. Joseph Lester dropped a few positions. Lester wants nothing more than to get his second win of the season and be up top with most wins in the series with Michael Kruger on the season.
Big moment just a few moments ago. Noah Maiuri got a little loose, got a little contact as well. Was able to keep it straight and keep rolling here, but some of these guys, like I said, that older tire's starting to get a little, less grip in them and starting to get a little more hard to handle. So we're going to see that develop with some of these guys that stayed out there. It's really going to be a challenge to make it to the end here.
Joseph Lester able to get by Dalton Kelly. The lead is 2.3 seconds from Gracias to Lester. See if Lester's able to start running down that one truck of Jason Gracias. And how much he'll have to push his truck in order to do so. What's the fuel window looking like, Dustin?
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, that's one thing I've been trying to figure out is how far we can make it on fuel. I want to say we're going to be pushing the window here. We may be able to make it with one final stop. Those guys that stayed out, I think, are going to have to make one final stop for sure. I am uncertain we'll make it to the end here without needing a little more gas.
Trying to do some quick math in my head, which is never easy to do, and it looks like it's going to be about 56 laps, I want to say, from the last time Jason Gracias, Joseph Lester, Dalton Kelly, Cameron Caldwell pit to the end of the race. And as I say that, Curfan makes his way down pit road.
Yeah, the window is about 50 laps is what I've learned, so you're going to have to see some guys might try to stretch it here at the end, and then some of the other guys here are definitely going to have to pit again. I was going to say that had to go back in. I think they were banking on another caution, and they just didn't get it, so Kierfin's going to be the first of them in.
I think Griffin's going to bring in a lot of guys with him who see how much these fast tires are, of course, going to play dividends for the 30 truck in the long run here if it goes green all the way to the end. I think this could be a very beneficial strategy for someone if they peel off right now.
Justin Durand elected to come down pit road. I'm wondering here, if you're Joseph Lester, do you try to pull the card and try to pit before this guy, Jason Gracias, does, with a huge, almost 3-second lead?
Yeah, exactly, and the lead is not gaining ground for that Ford truck. It's going the opposite direction, in fact, so that would be really the only way to try and get something on Gracias is try and leapfrog him on pit strategy.
Last time around, Justin Durand came down. This time around, Brother David makes his way down pit road. Only taker that time by.
Yeah, you're going to see the guys that stayed out. They're going to be coming here in the next coming laps. I don't know if you're going to see a lot of these guys that, pit that last caution coming in here. They'll definitely be staying out and at least stretching it a little bit longer here to see how much further they can make it. Zach Prost, I believe, is coming in this next time by here. We're watching to see. I think I heard over the radio communications. Yep, 62 coming in. So he'll be the next to come down pit road. Following that, it looks like maybe only two more guys from that group that need to pit. It's going to be Alonso Chicano and Noah Maiuri. Everybody else from that group has come down pit road and made their stops. So we'll have to see when Chicano and Maiuri decide to finally come down pit road here.
And right ahead of Chicano and Caldwell, we saw the lap truck of Alexander Curfin just blow right by these guys. He's trying to hunt down Gracias and get his lap back. There he goes around third place. Dalton Kelly right in front of him is Joseph Lester, so he's going to get back on the lead lap very shortly here, even with that pit stop under green.
Yeah, looking back through, looking to see if any strategy might be at hand for any of these guys that might be trying to stretch it. I'm looking at 8th place, 7th place, Craig Fryer and Brett Bennett. They may have just been laying back and coasting around here to see if they can try to stretch it. Noah Maiuri, I believe, coming in this next time by here. That'll just leave Alonso Chicano as the lone driver that needs to pit from that group that stayed out. But I definitely suspect somebody is going to be trying to stretch it here if we go caution-free.
And this racetrack, of course, with the off-throttle time, when you exceed the tire wear and have a very worn-out tire, of course, it is a very easy way to save fuel also. You can just easily coast off the gas, and there you go. You can save a little bit of fuel that way, of course.
Justin Duran starting to try to make his moves back through these lead lap trucks to get his lead lap back. As you see him battling with Dalton Kelly, that's the 3rd place truck. He just gets right by him. No problem. Now slide up in front, and now he's going to set his sights on the 4 of Joseph Lester and then the 1 of Jason Gracias.
And talked about Alexander Cook, and he just did that, and he is driven away from Gracias. And was about to. He just got his lap back, and he's going to set sail on this one truck, and already making huge dividends in that gap, putting truck link after truck link in just seconds over that leader of Jason Gracias.
This truck to make that move is Zach Probst in the 62 as he works on Alonso Chicano to make up some ground to the race leader. Noah Maiuri is also not too far off behind them. So the issue is not just watching them to see them go up to try to get their lap back. It's to see if anything happens. Those fresh tires, after a while of running those old tires, you're getting that speed back in and you're having to try to feel it back out just to get it back down pat real quick. It's very easy to just overdrive it. You're used to, having to lift a little bit earlier, having to be a little bit easier. But now you get those fresh tires, you want to just push, and that can lead to causing some issues for some of these drivers that just pit here.
Zach Probst looking to get around the Ford truck of Joseph Lester. Of course, among those that have come down pit road on those fresh tires, and he's able to get around that Ford truck.
Another truck coming on pit road. Michael Kruger comes down, but he wasn't one of the ones that had stretched it. He was one of the ones that was around that mark, that pit, that last caution. So seeing him come down, I don't think it's going to drag anybody else down, but it might open that window for some of these people to consider actually coming down as well. Now, Alonso Chicano has hit his 51st.
His pit box, so it's completely out of the window for that 42 truck now.
Yeah, that's gone.
He was tail end of the lead lap anyway, and I think it's too late in the race, honestly, for a strategy for that to play out now. I think you would have to have come in 10 laps ago.
Now, the fuel window was about 50-ish laps, 55 maybe. Alonso Chicano is 52 laps in on this run here, so Alonso is definitely going to push it here as far as he can, hoping for a caution as he gets passed by Noah Maiuri, who was on a fresh set of tires, just pit. I don't know if these guys here are going to try to stretch it, actually. Some of them are very much going to try to stretch it, but it'll be close for some of them to see if they can make it to the end.
Almost 3 wide. They are 3 wide. David Duran, Dalton Kelly, Cameron Caldwell. David Duran, of course.
Duran, yep.
On those fresher tires, yeah. Easily get by them.
I'm crunching my numbers here. They're in the window. Those that are currently out that pit that last caution, they're in the window to make it to the end on fuel. So long as they haven't been pushing, the absolute, everything out of it. They all came and topped off that last caution too. So I'm not surprised they're should be able to make it. The only one that's in the top 10 that I fear is not going to make it all the way is that 25 of Alonso Chicano. That third, he's 54 laps in on this run. You got to wonder if he's just begging for a caution at this point.
Oh, absolutely, I would have to assume so, Dawson. Obviously, he can't go 14 laps on estimated no more fuel, so I think he is trying to hope for anything, and he doesn't have a big enough cushion to save and ride out from here, I don't think.
Now he's going to have to pit in the coming laps here because, asking another 13 laps on top of the 55 he's ran, it just isn't going to work out here.
Yeah, Alonso Chicano, he needs a caution in order for what he's doing to work. Because if he comes down pit road, he'll be a lap down. And with 12 laps to go now, this strategy will not work for him. So he's banking on a caution to come out, and he needs that to happen.
Absolutely. Remember, we saw him lose the race at Charlotte early in the season because of a very late pit call, and here he comes finally coming into pit road, but this late in the run is just only going to hurt him this much further. He probably would not be able to threaten David Duran, Justin Duran, Zach Probst like he originally probably could have.
And that'll shuffle Kierfin into the top 10. Outside of that, he's not really closing in on many trucks here. He's got 3 ahead of him. That is going to be Willias McCurry, and I believe it's the 42 of Michael Kruger he's closing in on. So he'll have a couple guys he can try to go past here, but, it's just too little too late for, any of that move to matter to be able to catch the leaders to see if he can make a move.
Yeah, 30 truck has chipped in about 10 seconds on that lead, but like you said, Dawson would not be enough. Probably unless the tire fall off on that one truck and rest of the top 7 just dramatically fall off where it's undrivable for them in these next 10 laps.
Joseph West. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, 10 laps is a long way to go, but, it's going to have to be, a battle for some of these guys, to make it the rest of the way, and it's just going to be an interesting battle with everybody to see how this plays out.
Joseph Lester has been closing in on race leader Jason Gracias little by little. It's not going to be enough to get up there. 2.6 seconds right at the moment. 9 laps to go, but he is closing in.
Yeah, if he can keep it rolling at the pace he's at right there, it looks like he'll be coming close, but not close enough. 2/10 off that time with just 8 laps to go. It's just not enough time to get up there.
I'm wondering if Jason Gracias hurt his tires or has realized he needed to save a little bit of fuel. Currently coming to 48 laps on this run and 7 laps to go.
Yeah, it's possible he's trying to stretch it out the rest of the way. Some of these guys might be realizing that it's going to be close to the window and they're going to have to stretch it a little bit. Not too much, but, just a little bit of extra to save. But, right here, if Alonso can make it about 58 laps, I have no issues with them making it the rest of this way here. Those that came in and topped off that last time by.
With David Duran going around the leader here, there's no trucks in between our top 4 trucks at all on the racetrack, I believe. So it's just going to be a pure fight.
Actually, no. Alonso Chicano is just past the 4 of Joseph Lester, now hunting down the race leader. But, of course, it's a little late here to make that move.
Yeah, and, of course, Chicano's going to breeze by the one truck once he gets to him here in a lap or so.
I think Grossi's might be saving here because big cut in time there for Lester to the one truck. Just under 2 seconds now, or just around 2 seconds. About 4/10 faster that time for the four truck. So I gotta wonder, is there something wrong with the one, or is he just saving?
The lead's continuing to go down, guys. It's not capping off at all. It's still continuing to go down slowly and slowly.
I think that one truck is saving hard. I think he knows he doesn't have enough to make it, so he is just saving. See his line kind of bouncing around in the corners. He's not really running consistently. That last time by, he ran it to the top to the bottom in 1 and 2. So you see it under 1.5 seconds now. So is this one truck saving as hard as he can until that 4 catches him, then he's going to let it loose again? Or is this the one truck finally falling off?
Right on board with Joseph Lester. You see the gap there between him and Jason Gracias. They're coming to 3 laps to go. Lester hard in the clutch. Lester save mode as well.
He's lucky he's got a 5-second gap back to Cam Caldwell, but Dalton Kelly and Cam Caldwell, they were both 8-9 seconds back at the leaders. They were both catching the top 2 rapidly. Maybe they could be in a huge, very advantageous situation if the top 2 run out here. Could be a long stretch, but
Lester is losing time to Gracias here. I think Gracias was just saving, and now he's letting back go full throttle here. I think that's all she wrote.
See here what Jason Gracias does. Gracias still clutching it as well. 2 laps to go.
about a
That's
second
much
between the
faster that
two.
time. Yeah, wow, huge gain for Lester. I think Lester's just going all in on it now.
Got by Andrew Elias pretty easy though through 1 and 2, and now he's got just a second and no one else in between them with a lap and a half to go here.
See, does Lester have enough? Does he know he's got enough? And he knows that the one truck is still trying to save, and he's going to try to put the pressure on.
They are taking the
Just
white.
had a second.
They're taking the white flag here. Last lap in the Faces 200 at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Still just about a second back, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think, for this Ford truck.
Unless Jason Gracias runs out here. I think Gracias has it. Lester closing in. Big time, though. Gracias is out! Gracias is out!
He's out!
Joseph Lester is going to win the race!
On the last lap, out of the last corner, and he just ran out of fuel.
Wow! Heartbreaker 2 weeks in a row for Jason Gracias.
He did not have the preferred line exit in the corner. You can see it. The truck didn't coast up. He was dead in the water, and he just kept it low and let Joseph Lester go right on by at full speed. And holy cow. Wow. Just 300, 400 yards short of the finish. That's all he needed.
Guys, if you would have saw me there, you would have saw me shaking hard. I couldn't even get the camera back on the Ford truck. You see there, 42 of Michael Kruger celebrating with his teammate. Those drivers are teammates. But, wow, what a win. Second win out of the season for that Ford truck, Joseph Lester, who is battling that man that just was celebrating with him, 42, Michael Kruger, for the rookie championship. And those two have been atop of the overall standings as well.
And what a rough couple of weeks it's kind of been for Joseph Lester. You know, he finished runner-up to Michael Kruger at Dover in a very hard-fought race where it seemed like the four might have been the better. He got a point penalty after a late race run-in. He lost 10 points. Watkins Glen 2 weeks ago had so much confidence in that race, got caught up in an accident. He served a penalty at the start and running through the field got that contact and crashed out. Last week he didn't race, of course, and now he's in victory lane.
Real run for that Ford truck, but just looking back at that replay, it looks like the one truck runs out of gas coming into 3 and 4. It sounds like he's getting on the gas pedal, trying to get anything out of it, and nothing is coming up. So the one truck coming up just short, just needed about a gallon of gas, if that, to get to the end there.
Yeah, we could see the relative was about 1 second, and as soon as they got into turn 3, it rapidly dropped to about half a second.
Well, I'm down in victory lane with our winner, Joseph Lester. First of all, it was obviously fuel saving for both yourself and Jason Gracias. You cut the lead down from over 3 seconds. What was it like?
I mean, I realized I had to save before that even went green for that final run. I was clutching the whole run, like, and I was still able to keep speed, so I just kept doing it, and I mean, it worked out. I feel bad for what happened with me and Cam early in the race. Um, I didn't think he was gonna pit. He was sort of high up on the track, but it's just incredible to win one of these fuel mileage races. I never thought it would happen, and shout out to Jason Gracias for being able to get it that far when I don't think he topped off.
It brings me to my next question. You did mention, of course, the contact between. Well, I've just lost Joseph Lester.
Let's see if we can get it back here. There we go.
So anyway, not sure what happened there, Joseph, but as I was saying, you were talking about the contact between yourself and Caldwell coming down to pit road. Were you making a decision to stay out?
I thought about it, and then I had to slam the brakes, and it wheel hopped, and I wheel hopped into him. So that was all on me, and I'll take whatever penalty because I deserve it.
Hey, Joseph, this is Dawson here. Great win out there. At what point do you think you realized you were going to be able to make it to the end and maybe that one truck might have run out?
Well, like I said earlier, I saved like 2 extra laps of fuel just clutching it. So I figured as long as I kept the pace up, I saw I was closing in on him, so I knew he had to be close on fuel because he was the dominant car all night. But I mean, incredible way to win, and I was sort of telling myself that he was gonna run out of fuel the final few laps just to keep my hopes high.
Well,
Is there any sponsors, team shout-outs you'd like to give? Who gets behind that? Who gets it done behind that Ford truck for you?
I'd like to thank Money House Graphics for the amazing paint schemes every week, and I'd like to thank Michael Kruger for sort of teaching me how to run it. I'd like to thank Nolan Hodgson for telling me to run the bottom, because I was gonna run the top the whole race until he told me to run the bottom. It saves tire, and I'd like to thank you for spotting me in the Indy 500 this morning, even though it didn't go how we wanted. And yeah, incredible way to win. I think there was only 1 lap left for me, and by far my worst mile and a half. So happy I got it done.
Well, congrats on the big victory, and go celebrate.
I will. See ya.
And that was Joseph Lester. I do want to mention, of course, he did mention about how I spotted for him in the Indy 500 this morning, which did not go well for him. So I'm sure that to get at least one win tonight it is a very nice feeling for him because his race got cut short. Had to work, got out of work, and come race this. So he's been pretty busy. So this probably just caps off Good night.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, though, we talk about the good, we got to talk about the bad, and with that, I want to bring in the driver of the one, Jason Grossi is our second place finisher. Jason, what more did you need to do there, do you think, to save that last little bit to get to the end?
Save.
Well, yeah, you did come down. I noticed you did come down and top off there with everybody else. And once you got past Dalton Kelly, I know you set sail. What were you thinking? As how the truck felt through the run. As it was going on near the end.
Truck felt good. Car was fast. Ghost T2 graphics.
All right. Anybody else you want to shout out? Sponsors, teammates, anything?
Yeah. Thanks to Cam for this amazing paint scheme. It looked really good. It's a shame just didn't have enough fuel.
Alrighty, well, Jason Grass is our second place finisher. Not the way he wanted this night to end.
That is going to leave Adam with our third place finisher, Cameron Caldwell.
Yeah, Cameron, kind of a survivor to the end there with the tire and fuel situation. What was it like at the end? Did you have to save to hold on to that third place finish?
It definitely became a fuel mileage race for sure. I was probably saving a little bit at the beginning of the run, just kind of more save my tires than anything. I knew that it was going to be really tight. That's why we all, topped off at the last caution. I thought we'd still be like too short, but I guess I was at least able to save enough. I don't know. I think, frankly, towards the end, if I wasn't saving, I wasn't going to be pushing it much harder than I was because I was just so tight. But it is what it is. I'm happy with third. I wish Jason and Lester ran out sooner than they did, so I had a chance. But third's not a bad day after that pit road incident.
Yeah, overall, pretty interesting night for you. How was it? First of all, that situation with Joseph on pit road and then fighting back up through the field after that.
Well, all I'll say about that incident is I'm not surprised. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I wasn't really damaged after that. I got all of it fixed in the pits during that pit stop, and it didn't hurt me at all. So it was just kind of trying to fight back and get my track position back. And all the differing strategies helped that, especially at the end when I was on the strategy with fresher tire, so I was able to kind of drive through the field. But yeah, it definitely made for an interesting race for me. I don't think I had anything for Jason or Lester when we got on a long run, but I'm happy with third. I think I was probably a fifth place truck or so, but third is good.
Who gets it done for you after top 5 finish tonight?
Thanks to my teammates at Radius. Thanks to In the Pits News for sponsoring Radius, myself, and the league. Thanks to C2 Graphics for the wonderful paint schemes this week. Thanks to all of our other sponsors, Grid Network, Left Coast Survivals, Molecular Massage Therapy, RPS Marketing, and everyone else that gets it done across the team. I want to shout out all my friends filming watching. I want to shout out Lester for taking a good look at my bumper, and we'll see you guys next week at Michigan.
All right, congrats on the podium again, Cam, and see you next week.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Well, that was our third place finisher, Cameron Caldwell, and what a wild finish to a wild race that saw Joseph Lester take the win.
Yeah, it was a classic race finish as you could expect out of a fuel mileage run. The guy that, was saving the whole race, that last run, able to pull away and snatch the win. Gracias just did not fully commit to the save there, and it was just maybe too little too late for him. But Lester able to sneak through and get the win. What more could you ask for from a race like that?
Of course, and very dramatic, like Dawson just mentioned. We saw a lot of different strategies really the entire race. We saw everyone trying something different because they knew Gracias was the guy to beat, so can't beat him straight up. And Joseph Lester did the best job saving the tire and saving the field all the way to the end, taking advantage of Gracias running out of gas.
Man, the one thing that I took out of that is just the dejection in Jason Gracias' voice. You could tell that's two heartbreakers in a row for that one team. And, last week dominated Richmond. Had the truck to beat, late cautions, allowed for a winner in Carl Felver. This race a little bit different. There were no late cautions. It was just fuel strategy. So Jason Gracias, he has another one taken from him right at the end, and we know he's fast. We know he's going to find victory lane again, but definitely wasn't tonight.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately the way it goes. We've seen him have speed every race he shows up part time. So when he comes to the racetrack, he wants to collect trophies, and he's had his name on them the last 2 weeks. But unfortunately, it doesn't take him when the checker flag flies. Unfortunately.
Well, before we go off air, we'll run you down through our finishing order. Joseph Lester takes home the victory after leading only one lap. That was the important one. Jason Gracias, another dominating night, falls short once again, finishing P2. Cameron Caldwell takes home the third position. Dalton Kelly in fourth. And nice season debut for Fryer, who finishes fifth. Adam?
Brett Bennett brings it home in sixth with Alexander Kerfen in seventh. Zach Probst finishes eighth with Carl Felver ninth, and Noah Maiuri ends the day with a 10th place finish.
Rounding up in 11th position is Justin Durand. Back in 12th, Alonzo Chicano. In 13th was Caleb McCurry. 14th found David Durand. And 15th was Andrew Elias.
16th was Michael Kruger, our points leader. Brandon Havens finishes in 17th. Jeremy Richmond, 18th. Daniel Saponsky in 19th. And Dawson Allen, finishes in 20th place.
Yep, and then just behind that, Tyler Watermolen finishing 21st, and Brian C. Smith rounding out the field that ran, finishing it in 22nd place. Next week, Michigan, big race. I know you're excited, Josh. I believe you're going to try to hop behind the wheel and get out there and go get a win here, aren't you?
I sure hope so. We just got to find somebody to broadcast Michigan for us. Take over my position to be in the booth with Adam. Not sure who it's going to be, but definitely want to go out there and try. I know last week you mentioned about having maybe a friendly wager. Definitely have to see if I am on the racetrack. We can get something going with that. But even if I'm in the booth, I'm looking forward to it. Michigan, it's my home track. In real life, I live super close to the track. It's practically in my backyard. I've been to that track so much. I just love it so much. I'm looking forward to going there next week and seeing these trucks run and hopefully being a part of it myself.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a fun one for sure. And like I said, that friendly wager, I mean, we'll have to see who the better of the two of us is as that race and checker flag flies in the race. But after that, we'll see what happens here. So next week, JCTV come back at 7:45 Eastern to catch the next race coming up in Michigan. It's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it.
And that's going to wrap it up from us here at JCTV. Big shout out to C2 Graphics for all they do for us and for the drivers as well. And the Pits News for the entitlement sponsor of the series. Of course, Adam Kuhn for being in the booth with me every single week. I have a blast up here with you. Dawson, thank you for stepping in last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, not the way you would like to. All the fans, drivers, not for those guys, show wouldn't happen. Series admins, Caldwell and Chicano. Faces for having them tonight. I believe, and I could be very wrong on this, but I believe it was Andrew Elias that put their name up for tonight. That's going to do it. Next week, Michigan International Speedway. As in the words of Dawson Allen, don't miss it. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then.